So yeah, I'm surrounded by clocks here. You can't see them. There's analog clocks, digital clocks, there's all sorts of clocks, right? So very good. It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you this morning, and I've seen so many old friends. It's really like visiting my entire life in this room. It's just fantastic. We have, I think, a very, very interesting session, slightly didactic. We're going to go offline and watch a video for a while, but I wanted just to give a couple of comments to set the scene. Today, in fact, my agency, together with the European Commission, launches its report on the greenhouse gas emissions, projections and trends. So this is almost the last gasp before we get to the end of the Kyoto period. I want to tell you just one thing out of that report, which is the good news is we're on target. The bad news, of course, is that as we go into negotiations for another round of Kyoto, that business as usual will not be enough. We just simply are not making the inroads into the changes in society and the economy fast enough. So it will be painful. It won't be business as usual. And despite what many other countries say, Europe will have to fundamentally transform as well. And on that basis, I think that this is a really interesting session because to make change, we need information, we need evidence, we need to understand what it is that we're going to have at our disposal. And I think our panel will tell us from very different perspectives what the signals are, what the information is, and how we can use that best. Because it's not clear, even from this morning's debate, that even if we all had a perfect crystal ball, how we would end up using the information. I'm a firm believer that information, for me, is the fourth pillar of democracy. There is no doubt that we do not have good democratic institutions if we don't have information at our fingertips. But actually, technology is changing us. When I was a kid, I was fascinated with wormholes, and I used to think about how the universe could all come together. And if you imagine a piece of paper and you sort of say, well, how do you get from place A to place B on a planet? You take the Great Circle. If you're a kid, you get a piece of paper and you just put A and B together. What we do today is we use this to make sure we have connections. So these are like our personal wormholes all around the world. And through that wormhole, we convey a lot of information. I think the next generation are already grasping the idea that it's not about the information that we pass back and forth. What we need to know is the local context in which we're operating. So the next wave that's going to come to us will be, I think, as fundamental as the internet, fundamental as the World Wide Web, but it will carry with it a lot of contextual information, whether it's digital or we think of many other things. So the technology, I think, will be about how we as humans are changing, not just how we are changing the world. And if you look at the evidence that's coming in, you can see that actually the technology that we have today is fundamentally changing the way we think. So now we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to have a long video with Mr. Sachs. And I think many of you know him. He's got a message that spans the entirety of what this session is about. It's about 16 minutes, after which we're going to then turn to Naki, and he's going to bring us really, I think, up to speed with what IIASA is doing and where it fits into that. So I'm going to hand over now to Jeffrey, and please enjoy the video. Thank you.